This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be doing Unit 7, Lesson 8, Averages. Our learning targets for today are: I can understand the mean of a set of data and how to calculate it. I can understand and apply mean, median, and mode to measures of central tendencies in word problems and in bar graphs. And I can understand range and determine range from a bar graph. So we're going to go ahead and practice. We're going to talk about mean, median, mode, and range, and we'll also touch on central tendencies as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The mean in a set of data describes the size of each of n equal groups made from n data values. That's really complicated, but really here's what you have to do. You can find the mean by adding the values and dividing the sum by the number of values. So mean we also refer to as the average. It is the average of all of the numbers put together. So to find mean, what we do is we start by adding all the numbers. So we're going to look at this set of numbers here, and I'm going to just actually kind of rewrite them because I like to put mine in groups of 10, and I'm going to cross them off as I add them up. So I'm going to do 8 plus 2, because that'll give me 10. 10 is an easy number to add on to other things. All right, and then I'm going to do 3 plus 7, which also gives me 10. Cross those off, and then I'm going to add on my 5. So plus 5, I'm going to add all that up. So when I add all of those numbers together, I end up with 25. Now we're not done, because in order to find the mean, you have to divide by the number of numbers that there were in the set. So I'm going to count my numbers. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to divide the total of all the numbers. I'm going to divide it by 5. And I know that 5 goes into 25 5 times. So my mean, or average, is 5. All right, let's go ahead and we'll try that on the next one. All right, so what I've done here is I've listed them. I wrote them from the biggest to the smallest. I'm going to add all of these numbers together. So 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 0 is 5, plus 6 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 9, I'll carry my 1. So I end up with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 49. Now we're not done. I've added them all together. Then I have to divide it by the numbers there are in my set. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So I'm going to do 49 divided by 7, which I know right off the top of my head is 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. So that's how you find the mean. You add all of your numbers together, and then you divide by the number of numbers in your set. All right, let's keep moving on. All right, on this slide, we're going to talk about the measures of central tendency and median. It says the mode and median are also measures of a set of data. The mean, median, and mode are sometimes called the measures of central tendency. Basically, they're measuring those the numbers that are in the middle, or the ones that appear the most. The median of a set of data is the middle value when the values are listed in order from least to greatest. All right, so here are my values, my numbers, and they're listed from the smallest to the biggest, so 14, 25, 27, 32, 33. And the median is the number right in the middle. So there's 2 on this side, 2 on this side. The middle number is right here, 27. That's the median, okay? Median is middle. What if there are 2 numbers in the middle, like this? In that case, you have to take, and you're going to find the median, the mean of those 2 numbers. So just like we did on this previous page where we added those numbers together and divided by the numbers, we do the same thing. So I'm going to add 25 plus 32 here, and then I would divide it by 2 because there's only 2 numbers that I'm trying to average. In this case, they would get a decimal to get 28.5. So let's go ahead and try a couple of examples here. This is again the median, And the trick for the median, when you're doing the median, is you're going to list your numbers from smallest to greatest. And again, I like to cross numbers off as I go. All right, I've got 2 3s, so I'm going to do 3, comma, 3. Cross those off so I don't forget that I've already used them. Then I had a 4. I have 2 5s. Cross those off. Then I have a 6 and a 7. All right, 6 and a 7. All right, so again, the median is the number that's in the middle. So I sometimes the easiest way I find is I'm going to cross again. It's not those. I'm going to cross on each side until I figure out which number is right in the middle. All right, so what number is right in the middle? 5. So in this set of data, 5 is our median, the number right in the middle. Now this set's going to be a little bit more tricky. Okay, so again, I always list from smallest to biggest. So I have 2 sets of 1s. Then I have a 2. Then I have a 6. An 8 and a 9. And now we're going to try to find the middle numbers. So 1, 2, I didn't cross these off, sorry. The middle numbers, I'll do 1, 2. Okay, now here's the problem. There's 2 middle numbers, okay, 2 and 6. So when this happens in mean, when this happens in median, I have to find the mean of these two, the average. So again, when we find the mean, we add them together. So I'm going to say 6 plus 2, which gives us 8. I'm not done because I'm trying to find the mean. Now I have to divide by the number of numbers that there were in my set. In this case, there are 2. So I'm going to say 2 into 8, which we know that 2 goes into 8 4 times. So my median in this set of data is 4. All right, good work. All right, next we're talking about mode. The mode of a set of data is the value that appears most often. Mode for most. A set of data can have one mode, several modes, or no modes, when no data value is repeated. So we'll see what they did here. First you'll notice they listed it from smallest to greatest again. All right, and the mode is the number that's repeated the most. So in this case, 32 is repeated twice, so it is the mode. In this case, no number was repeated twice, so there is no mode. So let's go ahead and read and try this problem. It says the number of points scored in a series of football games is listed below. Which score occurs the most often? Or the mode. So again, I list them from smallest to greatest. I'm going to pause and list them out for you. All right, so when I look at my list from smallest to greatest, I want to find the one that's repeated, the number that's repeated the most. So I look at my data. 18 is repeated twice. So this 18 is my mode, the number that's repeated the most. All right, let's look at the next problem. I'm going to go ahead and list these from smallest to greatest. Let's read the problem. It says, the following is the number of problems that Miss Maddie assigned for homework on 10 different days. What is the mode? So go ahead and list these out for you. All right, so we're looking for the number that is repeated the most for mode. So look at my number, and you'll see right here I have 3 9s in a row, and nothing else is repeated 3 times. So the mode of this set of data is 9. All right, next we're going to talk about range. Range is a way to describe data and is found by subtracting the least or minimum number in a set from the greatest or maximum number. For example, in this set of numbers to the right, the greatest number, so we're looking at this set here, the greatest number is 28. The least number, or the smallest number, is 15. The range of the set of numbers is 13 because 28 minus 15 gives you 13. So when you go to find the range, the first thing you want to do is, again, list your numbers from the smallest to the greatest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so now that I have my numbers listed from smallest to greatest, to find the range, I subtract the biggest number minus the smallest number. So in this case, it'll be 9 minus 1. So my range of that first set of numbers is 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I'm going to list them from smallest to greatest. All right, so now I'm going to subtract. I have them from the least to the greatest. I'm going to subtract my greatest number minus my smallest number. So 81 minus 19. Borrow here. 11 minus 9 is 2, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So my range, that second set of numbers, was 62. All right. Next, we're going to practice all of them in one. All right, so the mean, median, and mode are all measures of typical values in a set of data. In some cases, one measure may be better than others to represent the set of data. For each situation, find the mean, median, mode, and I added in range of the set of data. Then describe which best represents the data. So we have to choose which of these three represents the data best. So the first problem says, Miss Garcia's store sells cereal in 12, 18, and 22 ounce boxes. One week he sold boxes that were 12, 18, 12, 22, 18, 22, 12, and 12 ounce boxes. So first we want to find the mean. So I'm going to actually start by listing the different points from smallest to greatest, because we need that for most of our central measures of tendencies. So first we're going to list them from smallest to greatest. All right, so I've listed my numbers. There's 8 pieces of data here from smallest to greatest. To find the mean, the first thing I need to do is add all of these numbers up. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so when I added all these numbers up, I got 128. The next step is to count my number of numbers in my data set, because to find the mean, I take that total, that sum, and I have to divide it by the numbers that I have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to do 128 divided by 8. All right, so first I divide. 8 goes into 12 one time. Then I multiply mother. 1 times 8 is 8. Then I subtract sister. 12 minus 8 is 4. I do brother, which is bring it on down, which gives me 8. And then I get to start over. So 8 goes into 48. I get to divide 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. And I subtract, and I get 0. So I have no remainder, and I can't bring anything down. So then I'm done. So my mean, or average, is 16. Next, I'm going to work on the median. All right, for median, remember I want to find the numbers in the middle. So I want to cross these off because I'm going to need them for the things. So I'm just going to kind of do this so I can remember which ones I've counted. I'm going to go over until I figure out what number or numbers is in the middle. And in this case, I have 2 numbers in the middle. I have 12 and 18. So when I have 2, I have to find the mean of those 2 numbers. So remember, I'm going to add them up. So 18 plus 12. 8 plus 2 is 10. 0, carry the 1. So I end up with a total of 30. But I'm not done yet, because remember, to find that mean, I have to divide by the number of numbers that there were. And in this case, there were 2. So I'm going to say 30 divided by 2. And 2 goes into 3 one time. And then I'm going to multiply, which is 2. Subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. And I'll bring down that 0. Gives me a 0, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. I multiply to make sure I don't have any remainder. 2 times 5 is 10, and I subtract and I get 0. So in this case, my median is going to be 15. All right. Next, we're going to find the mode. All right, remember the mode is the number that's listed the most times. So I look here, I've got 4 12s, 2 18s, and 2 22s. So my mode going to be these 4 12s. They're listed the most times. So my mode is 12. Last thing we're going to look at is the range. For the range, remember, we're going to subtract the biggest number, 22, minus the smallest number, which is 12, and that should give us the range. 2 minus 2 is 0, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So my range is going to be 10. So today we talked about how to find the median, or the mean, median, mode, and range. We'll put some resources into the Schoology folder like this to help remind you of all of those. Great work.